Welcome to the Journey Podcast. This is the number one podcast in the country. Guys, let me reintroduce myself. Welcome to the number one podcast in the country. Oh my God. You have Janzi, bro. Let me redo it one more time.
Come on.
Welcome to the Journey Podcast, the number one podcast in the country. And this is Manzi, Mbaya. I'm your host today. And today I have someone very special, very talented, Andersonne, Uwineza Adolatha, aka and known as Andersonne. Welcome to the house.
Thank you. It's an honor being here.
How are you?
I've been waiting to come here.
I'm actually excited that you're here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm super excited.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Yeah?
I feel good. Yeah. I feel good.
Good. Because right now, when I look at you, I remember the last time we were together at Philine's house, you know, and we had this jamming.
That was good. Yes.
That was nice, right?
That was good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while. We should redo it. Feline, we should actually redo that.
Yes.
We miss it, right?
Feline Havangana.
Yeah, she's so dope. Huh?
Oh, she is. And I've worked with her on an amazing project. My first visual that I did, I was working with Feline.
Nice.
It was amazing. Yeah.
So now, when we hear about Andersonne, like, we hear you as a singer, you know, you're very known as a singer, but you're also a storyteller and you're also a dancer. So how did all of that come together? How did you become a storyteller and a singer and a dancer? Did you become a singer before, or what's your story?
My story. Well, it's a good thing that we're in Nyamirambo, because it just made me realize that growing up, we lived in Nyamirambo. So there was a lot. This is a very specific place where it's very artsy. Almost when I was in Berlin, it reminded me of Nyamirambo. We kept calling it Nyamirambo because you can see people trying hard to express themselves either through, you know, the drawings on the cars, the T-paint cars, the bad card cars. But what mostly influenced me was TV, because on TV I saw something that I always felt as a kid, but I did not know what it was. When it came to anything artsy in class, we would have les récitations, like poetry and everything, and I really loved it. That was my favorite part. But also watching on TV, listening to the Kairebgas, it was breathtaking to me, because I was like, I want to do that. That's what I need to be doing. So again, with arts, as you know, it's something that grows. You start discovering yourself. You try something, you're like, I'm not good at that. I like that. But music came to me more naturally. I didn't feel like I was forcing it. But I also didn't feel like I was a perfect vocalist. I always felt like, for me, even now when I listen to a song, for me it's more about the lyrics. What are you saying behind than it is about the sound or the beat. So that's when I discovered I'm more of a storyteller. I enjoy this. I enjoy sitting and talking to people. I enjoy sitting and listening to people. So that's when I discovered I'm also more of a storyteller than I am a singer. But definitely in the beginning, I was more of a singer / traditional dancer, because I started dancing traditional dance at a very young age. And then slowly I started getting into theater, and it started growing step by step.
Dope. So you grew up in Nyamirambo, you mentioned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I grew up in Nyamirambo also.
Yeah?
Which part of Nyamirambo did you grow up?
First off, I was born at Nyirihuaya, the hospital.
Okay.
But then back then we lived in Remera. Then we moved to like RP. You see where RP, the other shop is? Yes. Like across the opposite of it.
I see.
We lived straight on that road.
Okay, because this is close to, on your way to the stadium. Nice.
And then I also studied at Saint-André.
I
have really good history. You're
here. I hear you. You're from here.
I'm from this is my neighborhood. Yeah.
Good. So now I see you on tour. You're in Germany. Why Germany? How did you go to Germany? What was the production?
Yes, I went to Europe this year. Yay! Big milestone for me, because it was my first time out of Africa. And it was through theater, which is surprising because I always push myself in music. But then everything else, the storytelling part takes me more in theater, which is interesting because I didn't think I would be an actress. I never defined myself as an actress. But it keeps it's interesting to see that life keeps taking me there. So I went in Germany for a play that was called Unimaginable. That play had already happened with Mashirika. It was Bosnians, Germans, and Rwandans. And we were talking about shared stories or even the history we share. So I did not know we share so much until I worked on the project. It's called Unimaginable. And it was very eye-opening and very, very breathtaking because, in my opinion, being raised and born in Rwanda, my vision of the world is through TV, but at the same time, I didn't realize how narrow it was until we worked on the project, and I was like, wow. We share, our stories are so similar to Bosnian stories, and it's so different and similar at the same time. So seeing and hearing and learning about it was very shocking and interesting. And we were talking about, the specific play was about the genocide in Rwanda and the genocide in Bosnia, and also how Germany plays a role in it, or Germany fits in it. But also not just the past, we also talked about the present now, where, we have an involvement of Ukraine. How do Germans feel or think about that? Because we were there, Ukrainians are there in Germany, so that was also interesting, meeting them and hearing a side that I had not heard on TV, and actually talking to the people. How do you feel? What is your point of view on this? And same thing with Bosnians, asking them, what do they think about what is going on and everything. So it was, in 1 month, I learned more than I had ever learned in the 25 years that I've...
that was a good experience.
It was an intense one.
Amazing. Because I'm always fascinated, you travel somewhere for the first time, it's a different culture, especially Europe, it's a lot of white people in one place, and it's not something you're used to see, and the food is different, the movement is different, people, the energy. So I feel like, personally, as an artist, I feel like it's something that shapes you also and make you grow in a certain way. Maybe you don't even realize it in the moment when you're there, but when you're back home, you're like, wow, actually, I've learned something. So I always wish for artists to travel. Either you go to Europe, Asia, South America, or South Africa, somewhere in Africa, just to travel a bit. It always makes us connect, and disconnect. And disconnect, and learn and unlearn. And also, see that how we artists actually contribute to this world and society, I feel like, for me, it just always shapes my confidence and my way of viewing life and experiencing things, So, Germany. Did you learn any German?
Okay, this is very interesting. When I was here, I had attended a class learning German, but they called it, I still don't know if it's supposed to be called German or Dutch, regardless that I was there. I have no idea either. I will ask today. But I love how, for me, I believe in spirit and free flow. So in my spirit, I started learning German, but I did not think I was going to go there. So when I got there, it was very interesting, but also funny, because you learn that what you study in class has nothing to do with how people speak there, actually. Because in class, we learned a lot of saying Auf Wiedersehen for saying goodbye. Nobody said that. For a whole month, nobody said that.
Wow.
So I was like, it's interesting to see what you learn in class has nothing to do with it's very few things that we learned that I actually heard people saying. But it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah,
that's good. So let's talk about your music.
Yes.
So your music as a singer, especially a female singer, you are very based in Kigali, and for me, I see the music is growing, because you see a lot of female artists. Some have hosted them on my podcast. Many more I still want to host here. And every time I host female artists, I always ask them, how is your experience here? You know, are you feeling free to really like put out everything you want, or are you seeing some obstacles that need to be actually changed? You know, what do you think about that?
Okay, so on is it the 8th March, the day we celebrate women? It's the 8th March. I attended, it was more of a speaking gathering than it was of singing. It was me and Christiane Bukuru, who is also a female artist. And the thing that was interesting, I was asked that question. I was like, what is your opinion in women in music? Which was very interesting because I had just come from again another gathering with Teta Diana, where we were like 20 female artists from Cécile Kayirebwa. So it's just gathering of diverse. We are very diverse, from gospel to traditional to what we do, R&B, more of hip hop ish type of music. And the conversation was, you know, what is your experience as a woman in music, and also what is the obstacles you meet as a woman.
Yeah.
Being in the industry we're in, this is a very hard conversation for me to have. Because... Feel
free.
Yes.
If you're ready to share some, share. Yes. If you're not ready, also it's all...
No, good. I am ready because for me, I believe in... When we say equality between men and women, for me, I don't believe we can all do everything the same way. You know, I believe that there's parts where I'm strong and there's parts where I'm weak, and there's parts where men are very strong and parts where men are weak, and we can complement each other very well. When it comes to things of being very confrontational or being in a space where we have to fight, sometimes physically or through words, I believe, not to sound like I'm a very strong feminist, but I believe men can do better in that sector than we can, or than I can. Let me speak for me, than I can. Okay. So for me to have a conversation about it is harder for women to be in this industry, it's hard because even men, it's hard for them to be in this industry. Yeah. Like in this instance we're in right now, there's Kenny Soul who talked about the issues he faced. There's Ish Kevin who's had to fight to be on a stage. Yeah. I cannot fight to be on a stage. I will not fight. Yeah. It's not just because I'm not physically capable, but I'm not gonna fight to be on stage. When it happens, sometimes the conversation is they were not perfect, they were not thoughtful, people starting involving that they were drugged or something. But as artists, we know what they're fighting for. We understand. We're like, if we're not getting equal pay in our own country, where will we get good pay?
Period.
Where, if we're still fighting to sign a contract. Now, the way Ish will fight is not the same way I can fight. Yeah. So for me to have a conversation of women in music, it's hard for me because I cannot see, a girl cannot approach me at 18 and tell me, I want to get into this, how do I get into it? And I want to rise and I want to be on a stage with 5,000 people. I don't think I have the right solution or tools for her right now. I would tell her, think about it 2 or 3 times because it looks good. You are seeing videos, you're seeing us doing podcasts going on TV, but it is a lot of fighting in the back. Yeah. So for me to talk about problems with face as women, it is very hard because even in general, as an artist here, it's already a disaster. So bringing in, because the conversation was to ask why don't we have the same numbers or more of female in music like we have of men? Yeah. And I'm like, do we actually want that? Right now, in this space that is not safe for either women or men, if men are still fighting to even be on a stage, because then it becomes hard to have a conversation about this is a patriarchal society when even the men are not allowed to be on stage, even the men are not being paid. Not even just a fair amount, sometimes they're just not being paid, period. Yeah. You know, so my experience has been interesting when it comes to music, but also I believe, in my opinion, with what I've experienced, theater has been easier for me than music has.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, also interesting because theater is less here if you were to compare it to music, but yet in theater I've gotten paid better. I've had better rehearsals with music. Affording to make a rehearsal for stage is insane. It's hot. So this conversation of talking about women in music is hard for me because I'm still want to have a conversation about artists in general. How are we getting paid? How can we make contracts? How can we afford this? What is the budget? How, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, very, very interesting, you know, and I appreciate always like to have this kind of conversation because in the last episode I talked with Cheryl, you know, and we were actually talking about the same point, you know, and because when I checked the Instagram of Kenny Saw, you know, I was like, actually this guy has balls, you know, because everyone is feeling the same thing, you know, and
every artist.
People, you're listening to this. If you know me as a performer, you know me as a choreographer. You're not gonna see me in these concerts in Kigali, you know. You're not gonna, if you really see me, then know I have a contract, I'm well paid. Period. If you don't see me, then know I've been behind the scene talking with them, telling them, yo, I need a contract, and this is how much I'm proposing. What do you think? And then these guys never come back to me, you know, because this is also what I've observed in this Rwandese industry, you know. At this point, I have my own platform. I don't give a fuck. Remember, this podcast is explicit language, so. But what I want to say, sometimes it gave me really frustrated because most of the time, there are people in this industry that want to make you feel like you're not worth anything. Actually, most of the times, we artists are spending time doing rehearsals, you know, looking for money, doing some part jobs so that you can invest in your craft, you know, so you can be able to perform well, you can be able to look good, you know, because you want to be presentable, you want to be also, you want to be sure and you want to be ready for your craft, for you to present it, you know. So that is a lot of investment behind the scene that people actually never think about or observe, and they don't even need to see it because that's your personal investment you do. So yeah, you see, the idea is, I think also as artists we need to actually think about this, you know, really like give ourselves respect, not actually struggle so much, because I know, you know, I've been there in those spaces in my mind where I'm like, oh my God, yes, they're not giving me a contract, they're not even telling me how much I'm gonna be paid, so should I actually like just go for it? Because there's no other way. If I don't take this gig, there's no other gig, and then I end up taking the gig. But at the end of the time, I look at myself, I'm like, bro, you're from Nyamirambo, bro. You always have to come up with ideas. You know?
Gotta get creative.
I mean, big thanks to everyone who always contributed to my journey, you know, who still contributes to my journey, you know. But I want to thank myself also from where I am, because, you know, it takes balls. It takes balls to be an artist, because it takes balls also to...
It really does.
You have to like really have that mentality of fighting, you know, because if you don't fight, nobody's gonna fight for you, you know. And this is also what I really want, especially my fellow young dancers who are growing up in this industry, harsh industry, actually, that doesn't even respect dancers. You know, me, I look at these concerts in Rwanda, I'm like, y'all are lucky we dancers exist, because we are these angels, you know. We put this amazing image on performances, you know, either it's in movies, theater, music, everything, you know.
In theater.
So anyway, let me not go so far. So one thing I want to say is just, we artists should just really have those balls and actually put limits, you know, and say, yo, if you want to work with me, yeah, let's have a contract. Let's make it professional. Because also what I want to say, guys, if you don't know, if you want to travel, For example, you want to go to Europe. In the document, they're going to ask you, they're going to say, hey,
who have you worked with?
Yes, show us your pay slips, your last pay slips and your contracts. If you don't show them, they're not going to give you the visa because we're not the world we live in.
Statement, you need to show your contracts, you need
of course
recommendations.
Let's say maybe, yes, Manzi, you have so many gigs, you're just working without a contract. You go to the embassy, you're not going to tell them that. You're not going to tell them, oh, ambassador, watch my videos. I've been performing in this concert and this concert. No. All they want is papers, is proof. Your contracts, your pay slips, that's all they want. And it's professionalism, you know? So it's for me to also remind artists, this is very important for your work. You know, for you to be able to expand, not to a national way, but also to an international audience, you know? You need to travel. And it's sad, the world we live in, you can't just travel to Europe like this. No. You're going to need to actually prove to them that you're not going to stay in Europe, that you're going to come back to Africa. So why are we still fighting that? We need those contracts. We need those contracts, you know. So if someone really is not even giving you a contract, they actually don't even appreciate your art because they don't see any value in your art. All they want is make business, you know, make their money and just go and move on. And fellow Rwandese, you like our work, but this is the struggle also we face. You know, you're going to see us and you're going to say, being an artist, you're just going to be broke. No, you're not going to be broke.
When you're serious and professional.
But in this industry so far, you're going to be broke because if nothing changes, we're going to still be broke. You know?
We will change things.
We have to change things. We are changing things, you know, because we are game changers, you know. So, you know, that was the point I also wanted to share with people listening to us, because don't just go there and be so excited to do a gig, but also have some integrity, you know, and also respect your craft and remember all those times you have sleepless nights and you are rehearsing, you are doing
sleeping
your thing,
in the studio.
You know, you're having problems with family because they haven't seen you haven't visited them. They're like, so you moved out from home and you can't visit your family.
That one.
Because you're busy, you know. So all those sweat can remind you to actually put value on your work and actually ask for contracts. And my sister, my brother, if they don't give you a gig right now, it's okay. You get another one and a better one, you know. You have to manifest it always. Manifest.
That's
period.
Very strong word. Talking about that, two things made me remember. Hip hop is celebrating. Yesterday, hip hop was celebrating 49 years. And I've decided, because as much as it is hard to be in this industry, at the same time, it really builds our character. You know, me and you know we are pushers. We understand. Through this journey, I learned that I'm a very strong person. I did not know. I always felt like I was strong, but this made me realize I'm a very strong person. I'm very persistent, and whatever I want, I get. I couldn't have learned this if this was easy. So the reason why I was giving the example of hip-hop, it's been 49 years that hip-hop is said to have been created. And it is interesting for us, I think, artists to start learning from hip-hop. They were not liked, they were not helped. The government did not think they were serious people. But now we have billionaires like Jay-Z representing how far we can take
Rihanna.
And it's not, and then Jay-Z brought up Rihanna, Kanye, all the big, like, he can name drop. Jay-Z can say that person and that person and that. And it's not even just Jay-Z. We have even Akon, did you know it's Lady Gaga who, you know, Akon brought up Lady Gaga. So I'm learning a lot from them, in a sense of maybe it is good that it's not easy, because it will build who me and you are. And we will know, okay, we don't like this, let's make sure we don't recreate this. Let's make sure that the young girls, the young boys that come after us have a shelter, and we tell them, this is not easy, but this is, we can give you more, and then you have to give more. So I'm excited and ready to see what the new generation is gonna bring, because I want to see, okay, if Kenny Soul understands this is fucked up. How does he fix the fucked up part? Because we really in my opinion, we really have to get good at dealing with pain, then shedding off that skin of pain and being like, okay, this is painful. How do we fix this? And I can't wait, because I didn't grow up hearing these conversations. I never heard, let's say, Miss Jojo or Cecile Kairib. Maybe they did, but I didn't hear those conversations. I never heard them talking about the struggle. You know, yet they faced worse. They didn't have YouTube, they didn't have podcasts. So when you talk to them, they tell you we were singing because we loved it. We couldn't do anything else, but we understood we should be getting something from this, but we were not. So I'm excited to see, you know, how far and how good we make this. Yeah.
So now talking how far, you know, this is almost the end of the year, you know. Do you have any like project you want to drop soon?
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
You want to share, or you still...
No, I want to share because, again, you use the word manifest, so I want to manifest it. This year I did a lot, and I'm so grateful. It's even scary. I don't know if you have this. Sometimes when I get a lot of good stuff, this is a bad habit. In back of my mind, I'm waiting for when is the shoe gonna drop. Because I've been so happy. I've been laughing a lot. When am I gonna cry? And I got that as a kid, because when I was happy the whole day, I would go home being so scared, like mom is gonna hit me. I can't be this happy the whole day or the whole week.
I know that's
I'm
feeling,
gonna, you know, I'm gonna get something wrong coming. And I had made a list. Actually, I didn't make the list. A friend of mine, he's called Eric Sol, Afro Groove. We did Sins with Feline Habangana, like I told you, and we did the visuals and everything was amazing.
Beautiful.
And then I had never promoted a single thing in my life. I used to make music, put it on my YouTube, and that's it. Like, I'm happy it got out, but I would never do the work. So then Feline was like, so are you just gonna let it sleep on your YouTube? And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, you need to promote it. You need to do... And I did not know where to start. So he was like, just talk to Eric. You know, he understands the industry. He's been in it for a minute. I text Eric and I'm like, so what do I do? He tells me you need to build an EPK. This is why it's so important for artists to talk to each other. I didn't know what the fuck an EPK was. And I'm thinking, what an EPK? And then I started texting my friend, do you know what an EPK? And he was like, you have Google, you should use Google. So I go to Google. And then I see electronic press kit, and he gives me a list of stuff I need to do. You need to have a media tour. You need to, what was the other thing? You need to get articles to write about you. So he gave me a list. If you want to be taken seriously as an artist, if you want to tour, as you were saying, where he starts talking to me, you need to get contracts. I didn't know nothing about this. So he gives me the list, and this whole list I ticked. I have never felt more proud because it gave me something I never had as an artist. I never knew, when do you know that you've done the work? You know? I'm like, does it take 20 years? Does it take 30 years? We don't know. When are you allowed to actually even have a contract? Should I ask a contract on my first gig? Should I not? Am I asking for too much? But because we're not meeting and hearing people have this type of conversations, you have no idea. Yeah. So he gives me the list. I tick the whole list. Then I find myself in Europe. Then I come back and I'm like, do I keep going? Do I stop? Like, because the list is done. Like, what EPK is there? I don't know what is next. So I took a whole month. I got here in June. I took a whole month of not doing nothing. And then in July, I'm like, okay, let's make a new list. And it's breathtaking, and I don't know how we can help either the grown artists, the middle ones, and the ones coming, to also have, these are the things to achieve, and this is where you start, this is where you grow, this is what a contract looks like. I had never seen what a an artist's contract looks like.
Yeah.
I didn't know an artist needs a bio. And yet when you get to the embassy, they will ask you for all those stuff.
Yeah.
You know? They need those stuff real clear. So I'm excited and I'm ready to I wanted to do an album, but I realized I was overdoing it. So I'm just going to do a small EP of like 3 really good fun songs celebrating this whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I'm excited about that.
Amazing. Can't wait, you know. And people, you know.
You will be dancing in the video.
What?
You will be dancing in the video.
I can't wait.
Yes,
I can't wait.
this weekend.
No, I can't wait. You know, I'm always excited, you know. This is also for me, it's about energy.
Yes.
It's about energy, you know. For me, if the energy is bringing me positivity, I'm always down, you know. And this is the thing, because I think when I talk about energy, it makes me want to talk about energy.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
This is also something I've also realized by myself, that I used to be so hard on myself, you know, because I like to work hard. I like to really produce. I love to just keep consistency.
Yes.
But there are some times where you're not feeling it, you know, you don't have really energy, you know, and I reached that point, you know. For example, I was in Brazil for 2 months, April and May. When I came back, I was like, I'm tired, you know. I've been on tour, I've had so much fun, I've learned a lot, I've met a lot of amazing people, I've connected, gente do Brasil. Energia muito bom, muito bom. My people from Brazil, I love you so much. You know, the energy is always real. Like, yeah, I will not even talk about Brazil right now. I will take some time to talk about Brazil.
In detail.
The energy is crazy. I'm telling you, it's the second Africa. Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yes, and with their music.
It's amazing, you know. So coming back, I was so tired. I was like, I need to rest. Yes. You know, I need to rest, but I also need to be consistent, you know, because this is also the thing. You have this social media game of algorithm. You want to keep doing your thing consistently, but you also want to rest because you want to take care of yourself. You want to give yourself some love, you know. And I did some nice exercise, and I went to manicure. I did my nails, you know. I took care of my skin, you know.
Some self-love.
Yeah. I had some good food, you know. I hang out with my girlfriend. We had a good time, you know. I just took it easy, you know. And now I'm back, yo. And now I'm back to the microphone, you know. So this is also what I wanted to say. Sometimes you don't have energy. You just don't have energy to rest. And we should embrace that also, you know, as artists. And just know that, because when you are someone who is used to always do things, when you're not doing things, you're like, oh my God.
Lazy. I'm not.
Oh my God, I'm so lazy. What is happening to my life? Oh my God, I changed. Oh, stress. You know, but yeah, it's a journey. You know, it's a journey, and it's always we always have to find excitement to a journey. You know, so yeah, 2023 is in the corner. It's saying, it's coming. And
we're ready.
We still have a few months, but it's coming.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself in 2023?
Now, definitely, I'm dropping an album in 2023. That's
Inshallah.
God help me manifest. You know, I'm dropping an album in 2023, and I can't wait to see what it's bringing. I can't wait to have a new list, a new energy, and hopefully Putin doesn't cause problems. Because also we never know with that guy. But yes, if he doesn't cause problems, we're gonna have a good year. We're gonna have an amazing year.
Yeah.
Or may he not cause any problems. And also, I want 2023 also to be about us finding new ways of now dealing and controlling the industry. Because right now, whether we want to accept it or not, it is kind of controlling us. And that's why we get hurt. But once we learn the loopholes, and we get information and understanding of how to do things, I'm ready to let's switch it up a bit. Let's switch it up a bit. I'm excited about that.
Nice. You know you're inspiring a lot of women right now. You know, this is actually history making right now. you know, and it always makes me so happy and excited when we're making history, you know, because I'm like, there are going to be so many things to write in the book right there. So there are so many young women right there, or any woman right there who is listening to us, who is like, wow. So what is your message, you know, like to tell that girl who is there, who is shy, but she's so talented, and she actually want to just share her thing and just do her thing.
So for me, it starts with sitting in front of the TV and hearing, I can do this in almost any Rwandan, anywhere, inside or outside the country, can understand. That woman liberated me and yet put me in hot water. Kairebga inspired me in terms of, I was a young girl seeing a woman be her full feminine self. She was not a shy woman from being beautiful, gorgeous, full on TV, representing our culture. And it inspired me so much as a young Rwandan artist. Because I grew up also looking at the Beyoncés, but it did not feel like something I could fully grasp. Because, you know, she has labels, there's big labels behind there, there's a whole machine that pushes her. But with our people from Kairebga to Miss Jojo to Chanel, I understand these are the people that did not have a big machine behind pushing. So they've inspired me. What I did not see, again, that we were already talking about, was the work behind and the hardness behind what they were doing. And finally I'm in it, so now I understand. So for the little girl that gets to see my song or my work, as much as I said that I don't know if I can tell them to come, I also understand that even if I didn't say something, they will come. Because no matter how hard this is and how much we're pushing, I would do this again and again and again. In the next lifetime, I would still keep choosing music. I would still choose art. So for the little girl who knows that no matter how hard and how much she has to grow and how much she has to peel off her skin and be strong, that girl that's ready. Because sometimes you're shy, but you have the beast in you. You know, I have very interesting stage fright. I can talk in front of people with no problem, but when it comes to singing in front of people, Lord, my adrenaline is at 5,000%. But I understand the beast in me. So for every young girl who has the beast in her, you know, you have other outside problems, but you understand you have the beast in you that's ready to push and, you know, work on art. You're gonna fully enjoy this. You're gonna even enjoy the hard parts, because they will show you how much you can grow, how much you can be vulnerable, how much you are strong in being vulnerable. And I can't wait for her to come also in a space and world where we've made things better, where we have created a space where she understands, she walks in, she asks for a contract. Where she understands, she walks in, she's like, if I don't get these rehearsals, I'm not getting on stage. If I don't have a good sound, I'm not getting on stage. If my dancers are not paid, I'm not getting on stage. I can't wait to create a space where, you know, women and boys have their confidence as artists, because we built that. You know, we've made that a must. We make them understand. So artists together, we're strong, and these people are working because we are here. If we don't give them, they would not work. You know,
that wouldn't.
And I can't wait for us to create, because I know we will. I
one day
know
at a time. One day at a time.
Slowly.
No, really. Big up to yourself. Big up to yourself. Big up to every single artist out there. You know, you're all doing great. You know, I see your work. You're all pushing, you know, and that's all matters. You know, it's always pushing, being vulnerable, share your art, share your thoughts and feelings and everything. Just be there in that moment and expressing yourself, you know. So grateful for this episode, my people. This was amazing. You know, you were listening to the number one podcast in the country, the Journey Podcast. Your host, Manzi, Mbaya. You know, alongside Andersonne. So if you know, you know. And let's talk about your social media handles, because we need more followers,
Yes. The Andersonne everywhere.
Yeah. So on Instagram, the Andersonne.
The Andersonne.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, everywhere.
Yeah.
All the social media.
And also I'm gonna tag her below when we release this
yes.
episode, so everything is gonna be clear. And people go follow my girl here and show some love, keep supporting. So yeah, looking forward to get to hear your album, and your upcoming projects.
2023 EP this year and then album next year.
Vamos.
And we're gonna come through saying, the album came out. We manifested.
We can come back in here and have a hearing session of your album and
that's a good idea.
Let's do that. So thank you so much.
Yes.
No, it was amazing.
Good ass ideas. Okay, yes, it was.
Yeah, let's do that.
It just made me think
My people, thank you for always tuning in and taking your time to listen to the #1 podcast in the country. Remember, this is Kigali, Rwanda. We are always connected, bringing you amazing artists, amazing creative people in the house. Big up to the team behind the scene.
Yes.
You already know.
Yes, I will clap.
We're always grateful, and this is the journey space. Woo. So let me tell you guys, much love and respect, and keep subscribing us on YouTube. Keep following us. Tune in, and also remember, you can always find these episodes to major big platforms, Spotify. Anchor.
They pay better. We also need to start having those type of conversations. Yeah.
Apple Podcasts, everywhere. So, and Google Podcasts, by the way.
Yes.
So, I see you when you see me. Much love and respect. Boom.